My own personal question about 12. About 12. Is it possible we go all the way around? And as we're going around, right, 3 of the hours, okay, are lifting us. We're not actually running flat. We're running spiral-like. And because of the spiral, okay, we go past the 9 and 3. So we're always going 1/4 of the way past. So then every 4 days, is it every 4 days? And knowing that in Spanish they call it the miracle day, miracoles, that every 4 days there's an extra half a day, and then every 8 days there's an extra day. So that once we go to 9, okay, we have to run the clock to 12. So what if we reverse that? Okay, that we lose every so many days, we lose a day because time is not right. We go to 9, but now we're going to 12. So what would we have to do? We would have to run 1.25 slower or faster to create that 12-hour period to where, let's say, there wasn't 24 hours in a day. Let's say there were actually, let me get out the calculator. Figured out part of it. I'm going to show this back to you, and let's see if we can get this straight. Now what would happen is we have a triangle here. Each of these triangles are 9, but in reality 9 is only towards the center. The outside would be 8, 8, and 8. But because we go around the center, we have to call them 9. So it's 24 hours, the reality, but we must count 27 and 27, equaling to 54. Otherwise, it would be 48, and it would be sun. The sun would be 48, SON, and the SUN would be 54. Now, when we run the clock in the center, when we're understanding this, okay, inside the this is inside the 8 card that you have this. They also call it the 8 ball, that they show these two sides. The kings show the swords on each side. You want to call this the delta angles, the missing an area space between day and night? Let's call it that. Let's call the actual turning of this, of time, 24 hours. 48 is 888, 888 is 24, is 48 hours. We must run 3 cycles, and this must come over here. These 3 must now become together. The total is 81. That's the number to Venus. Now, if it was 1 ball holding on to 2 balls, we'd now say we're carrying it from the cherry tree. These are just scenarios that I've run through in my life. Okay. Now, we were talking about the 24-hour period. Okay, in the 24-hour period, okay, where we get the 12 hours, 8 by 3 days equals 1 day. Every 8 days, we reproduce another day. 9 hours, 9 hours, 18 hours, 27 hours. So we are running, if you follow me, we are running 9. We would have an extra 24 hours extra every 8 days. So after every 80 days, it would actually be 90 days. So every 240 days, we get another 30 days. So after 1.5 times that period, okay, and this is the Mayan count, okay, where we get 30, and 30 is the number of creation inside the moon. Remember, man walked on the moon, the first day on the moon, and I don't know if I showed you this numeric calculation to where the word, okay, has nothing to do with anything more than man walking on the moon, because once they walked on the moon, we had a whole new scenario of satellites, a whole new setup of the signal testing station that runs this part of NA, right? Like in signature, rapture, signature, signal testing station. In 360 days, we now have the number that creates it to Fox, FOX, 666, the passage. And after every 8 years, we go around 1 more cycle plus 42. 8 times 5, 365 days a year, plus the 2 leap years, gives us 42, or in time gives us naturally 420. Knowing that since all these figures in my mind that come together to explain that every 8 years there's one more year, okay, it also tells me that 420, or what they call marijuana, links the mind. The 40 days and the 40 nights lingering because we need to link the mind. In the last scenario, my last video, when I talked about the half value of pool balls, 1, 8, and 3, 5, 4, and 6, 2, 7, and 1. 1, 8, and 3 is because there were 28. 1 through 7 is 28. Then the 8 ball, then when you add up the last one, it comes out to 3. Single count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 21 is the cube. 4 times 3 is 12. 7 times 3, the cube is 21. 7 by 4, 7 plus 4, 28 and 9. Cycle in the moon. It will also stand the relationship to Einstein, 14, 14, 7, 14, 14. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 and 4, 11 equals to 39. Einstein, 5, 5, 5, 3, 5, 5, 1, 3, 1. Exchange. Altered current. The total is 9 to 5, 5, 9, 5. So now in the pool, the single digit count, okay, for the high balls, for the 84, that 84 comes out to 21. You minus it, we get creation. This is a representation, okay, in which envelops everything to do with the sun, and this number all runs the numbers through Jupiter moons. If you add this number, 8 plus 2 is 1, 4 plus 1 equals 5 equals 15, but because we hit a black 10, all zeros equals 6, we now have 75, which is GE, Heinz 57, running through the moon, walking on the moon, running through the moon, or add it totally, 105, the representation of the hand of God, or 1 through 14, your DNA, Grover Cleveland on the pole. And at the same time, as this comes out, the total is 105. When you add the beginning to the end, you end up with 120. You end up with your 12 o'clock clock, 120, 15 hours, 15. Add up 1 to 15, it now equals 2. Boom, 120. 4 times 3 and plus 3 will now equal to your 19, artificial intelligence. This will equal to 31, either equal to 50 or 12. 38 is the difference representation of the church. And these are very special cards, because when you play the game of Baccarat, which is everything naturally to 8 and 9, now I'd have to go back to this scenario over here, where when you run the speed dial, it's 3 through 7. 7 is no draw. When you have a 7 in Baccarat, there is no draw. 3 through 7. This is your high and low bipolar life. This over here becomes your 39 and your 31. 4 by 3, 19. This one gets another 6, becomes 56. This becomes 18 and 56. 56, 66, 74. It becomes Jesus on the cross. It becomes the church. It becomes one wing, the half wing, because this here is the L letter. And L represents both 50 in Roman numerals and 12, which represent 3 and 5. And now we're back to Neptune. Einstein, 1776, 9 to 5, and everything that's connected to the moon and Mars. When you do this, 5 and 5 equals to 1. 7 and 3 equals to 1. The 10-10 world, all running through the moon and Mars and the sun. So whatever we have out there, for me personally, and I'm talking to myself because I'm not even sharing these videos. Somehow they seem to get out. Somehow somebody keeps busting into my account and sending it out through this thing called Mr. Tackpans. So I let it go. What can I do about it? Can't keep fighting the internet, taking all my information and sharing it, but that's okay. Don't want to look like a crazy out here. There's so many other things. Just because I'm looking at it right now, and it's this little design over here. If you're looking with your straight vision through this point, you will pick up from here to here. Otherwise, you must turn your head to see here and turn your head to see here. 84 Pluto is because it takes 8 areas in Monopoly and 8 areas in Monopoly for the properties. 4 properties, 1 corner, the 4 properties, 1-for-1 exchange, showing me the corner to the spirit of the half-light of everything that lives in between. Here's your 36 representation for your whole corner, representing that the moons cover this corner. And since there's 63 moons to the 99th planet, which is Jupiter, Jupiter is the smart planet to 86. I know. Maxwell Smart, Agent 99, I know. The robot that was in the movie, I know. So do we have anything else out here? Is it interesting or not? Oh, let me add on just one more piece if we made it out here. I'm going to repeat this, and it has to do with this, and I've done it before. Separation in time. When the time is moving, see this piece over here? The perpendicular is over here because although this starts into time, the moment it reaches here, you see the way the beak is running into time? Until this beak reaches, this part of the beak reaches down here, it's coming in and out of time. Coming in and out of time span. You see the way it's touching here, opening up the gateway, and once it passes through here, you see the cycle of the half moon, and now we're through the gateway. If we take a look at the 1 square, okay, it looks like a 1-ton block. You know, you see these 1-ton blocks? Well, when we make it 2 squares and we show an 8, it now shows the brick, okay, a gold brick. If we do it on the other angle, this angle over here, instead of showing a brick, we now show a pillar. And when we have this angle, that's when we have the queen showing that their head is on that angle. Okay, we're going to leave it at that for now. I want to say Raphael 7286 and a constellation of Pegasus. I'm going to do another video, probably add on the same stuff, but that's okay. Whoever can't handle this, I can't do it on my own. I need to share it, and that's what I have to put up with for the rest of my life. As long as I know there's going to be a breakthrough somewhere, I'm going to keep on sharing whatever you want to call it. Raphael 7286 and a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for putting up with your moment of time.